Right now, there are 4.8 million cybersecurity jobs around the world that the industry cannot find enough skilled people to fill. And in the US alone, that is about 514,000 open roles. Entry-level analysts are starting somewhere between $81,000 and $132,000, and it keeps going up from there. Most people who want to get in have no idea where to start. And it's not because the field needs a computer science degree or 10 years of experience. It's just that nobody has ever shown a clear path from zero to getting hired. And this video is that path. Exactly what to learn, in what order, and how long it actually takes. Cybersecurity is actually 3 very different jobs. And most people who want to get into this field have never been told that. Which means if you are looking at job postings and feeling confused about where to apply, that is probably why. The first type of professional is the defender. These are the analysts and engineers who sit inside a company's security team and protect everything from being attacked, the systems, the networks, the data, all of it. Most of the day-to-day work you associate with cybersecurity: monitoring for threats, blocking suspicious activity, investigating incidents. That is the defender's job. Then there are penetration testers, also called ethical hackers. Companies hire these people to actively try to break into their own systems, find every weak point, and report back before real attackers find them first. It is a completely different mindset from the defender, because you are looking for what is breaking or having problems. And at a higher level, there are security architects. These are the people who design the security systems from scratch, deciding how a company's entire infrastructure should be built so that it is hard to attack in the first place. What those jobs look like in practice is like this. So, a hospital gets hit by ransomware, which is a type of attack that locks down every computer in the building and demands payment to unlock it, and a cybersecurity team has to stop patient data from being stolen while the attack is still happening. An analyst at a bank notices login activity at 2 a.m. coming from a location that does not match the account holder's history, notices it, and shuts down the account before the breach spreads to other customers. Those are real jobs that real people are doing every day. Every company that handles data, which is basically every company, needs people who can do this work. The field has had near zero unemployment for years, and the gap between open jobs and qualified people is getting bigger, not smaller. So the question is not whether the jobs are there, it is what skills you actually need to get one. And that is what the next part is about. There are 3 layers to getting into this field, and you build them in order, and each one makes the next one possible. Layer 1 is the foundation. Networking is where everything starts, and the reason is practical. Every tool and skill that comes after this point already assumes you understand how networks work. You need to know how data actually moves across the internet, what TCP or IP is and how it works, what DNS does, how a firewall decides what traffic to let through and what to block, and what a network packet looks like when you capture one. You are not memorizing every protocol, but you are understanding how networks behave well enough that when something is wrong, you can spot it. Once you have that, Linux is next. And most of the servers that run the internet are running on Linux. Most of the security tools you will use every day are built for Linux. The command line is not something you can avoid in this field. It is the main environment you will be working in, and getting comfortable in a Linux system means knowing how to move around the file system, run commands, read their output, manage users and permissions, and understand what is happening when something breaks. This sounds like a lot, but it becomes familiar very quickly once you are actually practicing it. Basic scripting with Python or Bash comes with that. You are not writing software at a developer level, but writing short scripts that automate tasks you would otherwise have to do by hand. Things like scanning through a list of IP addresses, parsing a log file to find specific activity, or running a series of commands in sequence automatically. Once you can do that reliably, you have what you need to move into layer 2, and that is the core security stack. This is where you start learning to think like both the attacker and the defender at the same time, and that change in how you see systems is what makes you useful in this field. On the defensive side, you learn threat analysis and vulnerability assessment, which is the process of looking at a system from an attacker's perspective and finding the weak points before they do. You also learn security monitoring using SIEM tools. SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Management, and these are the platforms companies use to collect log data from across their entire infrastructure and surface anything unusual in real time. Every large company uses them, and being able to work inside one is a core job skill. You also learn log analysis, which is reading through system records to reconstruct what happened inside a network. When there has been a violation, this is how you figure out how the attacker got in, what they accessed, and what they did while they were inside. On the offensive side, you get into ethical hacking using the same tools that real attackers use. Nmap lets you scan a network and see every device, open ports, and run service on them. Wireshark captures live network traffic, so you can read exactly what data is moving between machines in real time. And Metasploit is the most widely used framework for testing known vulnerabilities against real systems. Burp Suite is built specifically for finding security weaknesses in web applications, and almost every company has web applications. And you learn the MITRE ATT&CK framework, which is a detailed public map of real-world attack patterns. It covers how attackers get in, how they move around once they are inside, and how they try to cover their tracks. Security teams use this framework to understand what they are defending against and to test whether their defenses actually work. That brings us to layer 3, that is certifications and specialization. CompTIA Network Plus covers the networking foundation and is the starting point for most certification paths in this field. From there, you want to go straight for CompTIA Security Plus. It shows up in most entry-level cybersecurity job postings, and it counts toward government security clearances, which matters if you ever want to work in healthcare, finance, or defense. Get it before you start sending applications. Once you have Security Plus, you pick a direction, like the cloud security if you want to work in cloud environments, the OSCP certification if you want to go deep into penetration testing, and security architecture if you want to move into designing systems at a higher level. Each one opens a different door, and each builds directly on what you already have from layers 1 and 2. A lot of people try to learn all of this by searching each topic online and piecing it together from free videos and articles. Most of them stop somewhere in layer 2, not because the material is too hard, but because there is no structure, no clear order, and no way to know if what they are practicing actually matches what companies look for in interviews. The people who get hired fast almost always follow a structured path that ends with real projects they can show. And there is one platform I would use if I was starting this today, and that is what comes next. When I looked at how people actually get from knowing nothing to getting hired in this field, there was one platform that kept standing out from everything else. That platform is Zero to Mastery, and they have a dedicated cybersecurity expert career path. It is not just one random course. It is a structured path that covers cybersecurity offense, cybersecurity defense, ethical hacking, penetration testing, setting up a hacking lab with Kali Linux and virtual machines, network security, endpoint protection, privacy techniques, and even Python fundamentals, so you can build the skills in the right order. By the time you finish, you do not just have a certificate, but you have actual penetration testing reports, lab environments you built and defended yourself, and real projects you can open in front of a hiring manager and walk through. That is what gets you the offer, not the cert on its own. Thousands of students have gone through Zero to Mastery. People who completed this path are now working at Google, Amazon, Meta, Apple, Tesla, and across government and defense. The subscription is $49 a month, and the average starting salary for a cybersecurity analyst is $81,000 to $132,000 per year. If this platform gets you hired even 6 months faster than figuring it out on your own, that $49 a month is one of the best things you will ever spend money on in your career. The first month also comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it before you commit. By the way, I have also dropped the link to Zero to Mastery in the description below, so you can check it out and go along with me. But having the skills is not everything, because there is one more thing that most people miss, and it is the thing that actually gets you the interview. There is one thing that separates the people who get interviews from the people who do not, and it has nothing to do with how many courses they finished. The resume gets ignored like others because what gets you the offer is proving you can actually do the job. Hiring managers in cybersecurity have moved hard toward looking at demonstrated skill over credentials, and the reason is simple. In every interview you get, they are going to ask you to walk them through something real. A time you found a vulnerability, how you would respond to a specific type of attack, what you would look for in a suspicious log. If you cannot answer with a real example from something you actually built or worked through, the conversation usually ends there. A certificate says you finished a course, whereas a real project on GitHub says you can do the work. There are 3 portfolio items that will make the biggest difference in 2026 interviews. A home lab is the first one. A home lab is a personal network environment where you have set up, attacked, and defended your own systems. You document everything on GitHub or a blog, showing your setup, configurations, what you tested, what you found, and how you fixed it, so your full workflow is clear end to end. This is what hiring managers pay the most attention to because it shows you are not just studying cybersecurity, you are actually doing it. A penetration testing report from a practice target is the second one. Hack the Box and TryHackMe are both platforms that give you legal machines to attack and document. You write up your work the way a professional would, covering what you tried, what you found, and what you would recommend to fix it. This shows you understand the offensive side of the work and that you can communicate your findings clearly, which hiring managers test for directly. CompTIA Security Plus is the third one. It shows up in most entry-level cybersecurity job postings, so have it before you start sending applications. Put those 3 things on your resume and GitHub, and you will hear back from companies you did not expect to hear back from. Now let me give you the honest timeline so you know exactly what you are getting into. So, I don't want to give you a number that sounds good but is not real, so here is what this actually looks like if you put in 10 to 15 hours a week. Months 1 through 3 are the foundation phase, networking, Linux, and basic scripting. This part takes real time to absorb because you are building the mental model that everything else sits on. The way you know you are ready to move forward is when you can look at a network scan and understand what you are seeing, navigate a Linux system without looking up every command, and write a short script that does something useful. That is the preparation for finishing this phase. Months 4 through 6 are the core security stack, threat analysis, security monitoring, and learning to use the ethical hacking tools. This is where things start to feel like actual cybersecurity work instead of just studying concepts. By the end of month 6, you should have a working lab environment and understand what is happening when you run a scan or capture traffic on a network. Months 7 and 8 are for CompTIA Security plus exam prep and passing the certification. If you have been working through layers 1 and 2 properly, the exam content is not new material. Months 9 and 10 are portfolio and applications. You finish documenting your lab, write up your pen test reports, and start sending out applications. You practice talking through your projects in interviews so you can pick any project you built and explain it clearly, why you made the decisions you made, what broke, and how you fixed it. 10 months to a year from knowing nothing to being ready for interviews. That is the real number. And for a field with a 6-figure starting salary and near zero unemployment, 1 year is not a long time to invest. Every major data breach you see in the news is another reminder that companies need more security professionals. The people who start today will be finishing their portfolio while demand is still going up, whereas the people who wait will be entering a more competitive field with no head start. The skill and the demand is real because the path is clearer than most people think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.